Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Out of the Box.
So, today's episode, we are going to be talking about a topic that some of you guys are interested in about, and it's how did we feel about coming to the United States and then our relationship and how we grew close to our adoptive parents, because we did have foster parents that we were close with, and how was that transition? So let's just start off with just May and I were adopted at an older age, not old, but we were almost 3 when we were adopted, and we were officially 3-ish when we were adopted in the U.S., our paperwork. So we did have a few adoptive parents.
Yeah, we were passed around the foster system for a little bit in China before our adoptive parents adopted us. And, what's funny is G remembers more about our time in China than I do. I don't know what to really say about the foster families and, how that was for me, because I'm pretty sure I, blocked it out permanently.
Yeah.
Because G will explain, but she has a completely different perspective.
Well, it's weird because there are some things that I obviously don't know because I was still very young. But then there are some things that are very, wait, I've done this before. I remember this scent. I've done, deja vu type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more brought up when I have certain, smells or visuals that I, have seen before, I feel. But, yeah, so the only thing I think we have differently is that I do know we had one foster mom for a short period of time, so we never really got really close. And then we had Doe Mama, who was for 2 years.
Yeah.
And we got really close with her. And even when we went back in 2008, I still felt very connected to her because that was our first mom that we knew of.
You want to know what's funny? When we went back in 2008, you felt really connected with her?
She hugged me, and it just feels like a different hug, than some stranger.
Yeah. I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was gripping onto my adopted mom, who I call mom, because I was 8, at the time, and I thought that they were taking me back there. Yeah. So I was scared out of my mind. I was just death grip on my mom's arm the entire time, and I was she had to continuously reassure me, saying, we're not leaving you here.
Mm-hmm.
You're not being left. You're gonna come back with us. We're just meeting them.
Yeah.
But my little 8-year-old self was just I'm about to be abandoned again.
Yeah, I don't know, for me there was a sense of being scared, but also a sense of I know her, or at least my body inside and emotionally I know her, even though I don't know her and I haven't met her when I was older,
Yeah.
But her hugs were mom hugs. They weren't a random stranger girl hugging you, at least to me.
I literally just would not give her a hug. I felt so uncomfortable.
And then
I gave those side hugs.
Yeah.
While you're holding someone else.
Yeah.
That was me. One arm over my foster mom and then a death grip on my own mother.
Yeah.
No, this is so uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. It was kind of uncomfy, and I think it's just the language barriers because, you can't voice it. Hi, my name is blah, blah. You had to have our translator there.
It also didn't help, though, that she, not ran up to us, but, came up to us and instantly just grabbed your head. And I was holy crap, what is happening?
Yeah.
But she did that because she was trying to see who was who, because G has a scar right on her forehead, and she was looking for the scar. And I was just that makes sense. But, that's scary when someone you don't know comes up to you and just, grabs your face.
But you also have to think of it when, in her shoes, she's seeing the babies that she let go. Not necessarily, it was her own, but, she cared for us for 2 years.
Yeah.
And made a bond with us.
True.
And then, got us ripped away, technically, because, obviously we got adopted, but, she knew it was for our own best interest. But, she loved us just like her own kids. And she had all of her kids there too, so our foster siblings were there, and there were 3 girls, 1 brother, so 3 sisters, 1 brother at the time, and our dad was not there. Our foster dad was not there. I think he was off working, and he couldn't make it, but all of them were there, and all the children were older, obviously, because I think they were like 18, 19 years old, so they were a few years older than us.
The only thing I remember from that, 1, just being super uncomfy, but 2, they had kittens, and I literally tried to like convince my mom to let me bring one home.
Well, what was funny was that like our mom, our doe mama, I'm gonna refer to her as doe mama because that's how we refer to her. But our foster mom, she had these kittens, and she was like, "If you want them, take them. Like, you can have them." And I don't necessarily think like she bought them for us. I think they were like stray cats, and they brought in like randomly during the time we were visiting.
Yeah, it was just weird. I was just like, "Wait, are you giving me a cat?"
Yeah. Because I pleaded, Dad. I was like,
yeah, I know.
Begged him. I was like, give me a cat. I want this cat.
We didn't understand, like, the process of, like, what it would take to actually bring the cat back.
Like, internationally.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, like, going back, we kind of tailed off. So, we had 2 foster moms prior to our adoptive families. 1 for only a couple weeks, and 1 for, obviously, 2 years that I've mentioned. But let's talk about how we felt about separating ourselves from what we knew to a new country.
I really, honestly, cannot tell you too many memories until the age of about 6.
From what I remember, at least, it was being on the airplane. Do you remember anything about that? Because I know, like, we've never been on an airplane, but in general, like, I think at the age we were too young to know what was happening other than we were getting on a plane and leaving. Not necessarily thinking we were never coming back. I don't think that ever crossed my mind. But it was like, okay, well, we said goodbye to Doe Mama and our family. And I think that was tough because we literally, like, stayed with them. And then we had to reassociate ourselves with our adoptive parents. And they came and spent some time in China before taking us, obviously, because we needed to have, like, a couple nights in the hotel alone to, like, get to know them and kind of be around them before they, like, up and picked us up. So, like, those 2 days were crucial. But I remember not wanting to, like, leave Doe Mama at all because, like, she was our mother. Like, why would I be left behind? But overall, we came to the U.S. and, like, I think once we kind of stayed and met our families, I think that kind of resonated. Like, oh, like, this is life now. We're not going to go back. We're not going to, like...
I think, if anything, we should bring our parents on and have them, like, talk about, like, the first initial few years.
Yeah.
Because, we know stories, like, my grandma came over to help.
Yeah.
Because our mom... is and was a doctor at the time, and they don't get too much time off for maternity leave, so she pretty much almost went back to work right away. And my dad also was working, so we had to have help, and my grandma came over and was like another person there at the house. But I honestly do not remember literally anything from being adopted in China, the flight, coming back, like, here, and then starting life here. I think my first hardcore memories is maybe when I was, like, 5. Like,
which is normal because, like, your prefrontal cortex, like, doesn't even, like, start until you're, like, 5 or 6. So, like, it's the fact that, like, yeah, like, your memories don't really come into play, but it's still the, like, I don't know. I just have some memories, and that might just because, like, I can't explain it. I just don't know. But, like you said, when we got here, I know it was more towards the summer for schools, so Dad was home a lot more than Mom was. And Kara, who is our older sister, I've mentioned before, she was also a senior in high school, or going to be a senior in high school, so she was home the most, I would say, and she also took on that, like, second mother figure because, like, she was home when Mom wasn't. She took us to daycare. She took us to school. We went to school with her and hung out with her friends. we were going to school on Kara's hips. Like,
Yeah.
she carried us around with her friends. We were their baby dolls. How we kind of grew to bond with our parents, I think we would need to ask our parents more on their side of it. But from our perspective or your perspective, how do you think you got close to, like, mom and dad?
I honestly don't think it was extremely hard for me to be able to connect. I'm pretty sure I connected with mom first,
Yeah.
the most and the quickest.
Yeah.
Because just by stories I've heard where it was just like you would not detach from your mother, like, at all.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't like when other people would try to get her attention and blah 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 blah. So mommy issues, that's what I had. But
No, I had mommy issues because I didn't want to. I was the polar opposite from you.
yeah,
So you didn't have mommy issues. I did. I didn't want to associate myself with mom at all. I would cry if mom was holding me.
okay, yeah, that's true. That's
So,
very
like,
true.
May and I were polar opposites. So she was very into, like, I'm a mommy's girl. I love mom. I'm going to stick with mom. And I was the polar opposite. I was like, give me to dad. I don't want mom. I'm scared of mom. I don't want mom.
Which
And I
is
think
weird because, like,
of,
where the hell did that come from?
Well, I think that's where me and you stem differently in, like, with Doe Mama and everything is, like, I think I bonded strongly to Doe Mama. And then I thought in my head that if I connected well with mom, that I would also, again, be left and, like, pulled away from someone else. So, like, I think legitimately that's where it stems from, for me at least.
That's so
Growing
weird.
up, because you completely loved mom, and you were, like, from the, like, start, you were territorial of mom. Like, there's even stories of, like, you telling kids, like, that's my mom, not your mom. Like, stay away from her. And, like, for me, I know, at least from some stories, like, I would cry nonstop if mom was holding me. Or I was scared, or not scared, because she's not scary. But for me, it was scary. And, like, I constantly just wanted dad. Or Kara. Surprisingly, Kara, because, like, I also think Kara's position as an older sister was similar to our foster sisters, so I immediately connected with that too. So, like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't scared of mom, for sure. Was not. I think
You just didn't like
I don't think I liked it. And I didn't understand it, and or was scared of, like, it re-happening again.
Yeah.
Because I know I was clingy to Doe Mama. So, like, I don't really know.
Yeah. But, flash forward, we have great relationships with our parents.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
We do. We have
a lot of people think we hate our
Yeah.
adoptive family and our adoptive parents, which we don't. Literally not at all. They're the most loving, kind, supportive family you could ever imagine.
Yeah. They're great people. We just don't talk a lot about it because, like, one, we can talk all about our side, but we can never talk about their adoptive parent side because, again, we never went through the process of that.
Yeah.
So we're only coming from the adoptee side, and we have had, like, full-length discussions on, like, how we were adopted, what happened when we were adopted, and, like, so on. So we know a lot, and we just found out how much we cost. And that was more so, like, a genuine question because our triplet Jessica asked her mom, and she got a value, and I was curious to see what our value was.
Yeah.
And just not compare, but low-key compare. Because, like, why not? All adoptees want to know how much their value is. So that ended up being really funny because, like, I think mom and dad were fine with us talking about it and asking, but I asked in front of our aunt and uncle, and they were not. They weren't horribly, like, shocked I asked.
They didn't like the idea that you were asking.
Yeah, I think it was more in the nice, considerate way. Like, you know you're, like, precious and you're valued. It wasn't like,
you weren't
like,
a purchase.
You weren't a purchase. Don't ever think that, blah, blah, blah. But it was just genuinely a question I wanted to know because our other adoptee friend found out, and her mom was straight up, was just like, yeah, you cost this much, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I don't take a number and be like, oh, well, that's my value, whatever.
No. It's just curiosity.
I think it was funny, too, but it was, like, this strange reaction because I love my aunt and uncle. These people, like, they know who they are.
They are the funniest people alive.
And they were honestly another, like, couple that took a lot of time to take care of us, too, when our parents couldn't. And so, like, I love them to death, and I know, like, the way that they reacted to it was the way that they are. But it was so funny to see because I was like, wow, like, really, like, other outside people who are not adoptive parents or adoptees would react like that because I'm asking for my value in price. But, like, it was the way that she was like, no, don't ask that. Like,
don't ask that, that's rude.
That's rude. Or, like,
you're priceless. There's no, like, price on you, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just over here, like, but there is a price. Yeah. Like, I want to know my price.
And then it was like, don't compare yourself to the other, like, girl because that's mean and blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, okay, yes, I understand where you're coming from, but give me the price. But, yeah, so, like, for the most of it, this was a very, like, round question, but we're great with our adoptive parents. The way we became closer to them, honestly, was just over time.
I was going to say, I think it's time as well. And like, we can easily ask them to come on an episode and talk about it.
With time, I feel like you have to get to know them. Like, May and I had to restart and get to know everything, everybody, all the languages. Like, when we got here, we didn't have a translator. At least I don't think we had a translator.
Sign language for a while.
Some sign language, but again, like, not proper sign language. Mm-hmm. It was more just pointing at everything.
Yeah.
And, like...
And the basic
sign
language signs.
Yeah, so it wasn't even, like, a lot of ASL, so don't even... It's not even that. It was more pointing. Yeah. But, like, there was nobody to kind of help us with the, like, culture shock because we were so young, and I don't honestly think our parents knew how to help that either because, like, they just thought with time, with love, and with, like, patience we would come around. And I feel like that's very popular in international adoptions because, like, you can't get over that language barrier within a week.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's not gonna happen.
I think any adoptee, if it's international, like, we've all been through, even our roommate who's from Ukraine, she learned English through, like, TV, books, her mom slowly talking to her and her sister, but, like, it takes so long to learn the language.
Yeah.
On top of also being behind.
Your birth mothers are usually speaking to you right away.
Yeah, when you're in the womb.
Listening to things, you're getting a grasp of words. You might not be able to pronounce them or say them, but you're learning and hearing it daily. And so, like May said, we had to learn a whole new language without a translator, without help.
I also want to mention that, like, our school and stuff, I don't know if it's changed now, but they didn't do a very great job at, like, integrating us into English, because
we were in preschool.
We just, like, got placed in there. They were speaking all of this, and we still had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's changed now, because there are more adopted kids. Maybe there's better ways for them to learn than just being thrown into classes. I think we have a great bond with both of our parents. Our family's very tight. We're just like any other family that's loving and loves each other.
Yeah. That was today's conversation. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a very, like wide range question because we kind of tailed off in multiple places, but kind of hope we answered that one.
I think we did. It's just a little hard because we both don't have a lot of memories of that. So, if we really want to dive deep into it in the next episode, we can possibly ask.
Or in future episodes.
Our sister or mother, parents.
Maybe we can have, like, a call with Kara or something like that.
Yeah.
Because Kara lives in a different state.
Yeah.
But like always, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Continue listening and sharing with us. If you have anything specific you want us to talk about, make sure to add it in the comments. And like always, keep loving, keep listening, and keep enjoying your journey.
And we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.